Hey guys, how's it going, and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Now today we are reacting to Season 2, Episode 12 of The Ricky Gervais Show, and this one is called Art. So, as we have discovered in recent episodes, Carl likes to look at art, but his perception of art is very different to what Ricky and Steve's is, so maybe they've all gone to an art gallery together. I don't know, that's the thing about these episodes. I always go into them having no idea what this could be about, and it always has the most random crazy stuff, and that's what I like about it. So yeah, looking forward to getting into this one, guys, and if you guys do enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and without further ado, let's get into the reaction. Here we go, guys. So yeah, The Ricky Gervais Show, Season 2, Episode 12, Art.
For the past few years, Ricky Gervais,
Stephen Merchant, and Carl Pilkington have been meeting regularly for a series of pointless conversations.
This is one of them.
Is that alright?
Oh, guys, I really do enjoy this show.
Hello and welcome to the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And the little round-headed buffoon that is Carl Pilkington.
Alright. Yeah. Oh, guys, I love that intro so much.
What is art? It's a very broad term.
It's a very difficult one as well.
Well, let me throw that question over to Carl Pilkington.
What do you want to know?
Well, we were just trying to clarify what art is.
It's just something for your eyes to look at.
Right.
It's just a change from the norm, isn't it? I mean, that's why I think most people have it. But then the problem is, I'd never buy a piece of art. I don't see the point in buying something because I know that my eyes will get bored of it eventually. Have you got much art in your house?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it gives me pleasure, and I don't get tired of it. I don't get bored
Do you
of
look at it every day?
Well, it's there, isn't it? It just adds.
Yeah, but other things
it just adds to the scenery.
There, but
surprisingly, I've not compared
I think
art to dust as often as I perhaps should. But the thing about, and this I think may be intriguing to you, Damien Hirst, of course, is more of a conceptual artist like Tracy Emin, and a lot of what contemporary art does is followed on from a guy called Marcel Duchamp, who I'm sure you're familiar with. Now, he famously took a gentleman's white urinal like you'd find in a pub toilet,
Right.
and he put it on its side, and he signed it with a fake name, and he put it in an art gallery. Now, he did that in about 1917, perhaps a bit later.
Okay.
it just annoys me because there'll be snobby people who haven't got a clue, and they're looking at that and they go, "Oh yeah, see what he's trying to say."
I see what he's done there.
Damien
Hirst, I don't feel angry with Damien Hirst really because he's getting away with it.
He's
But why
tricked
does
the
that annoy
public.
Because it's people falling into the trap. Damien Hirst, before he dies, I bet he goes, "What a laugh that was." I had everyone on.
There's a very good point as well, because some people think that the greatest art form of the last 100 years is marketing.
Yeah.
Some people say that that is his art.
In theory, yeah.
That it's not
If
good
you
enough
can
to
trick
do
the
it,
public
you've got
into
to
a
then
perception,
get away with it, and
that will
if
change
if the point of
people's
art is
views.
to inflame, I don't think anything inflames people more than the discussion about whether something's art, or if someone's taking the piss, or if someone gets 50 million for something, do they deserve it? Is it worth a hospital?
Well, what do you think? What do you think of the shark in the tank?
I think I was blown away by it.
Yeah.
I
thought
thought
the
I'd
shark
never
tank
seen anything like
yeah.
it before.
It was sort of spectacular because it is so huge and so vast, and to have put a shark, you know, in formaldehyde and to have hung it in an art gallery, it's very striking when you see it.
Yeah,
it's
it
a
is.
remarkable achievement.
We
But what
went
is he? Is he an
to
artist or a fishmonger? Anyone could have done what he did.
Yes, but not everyone did it. He did it.
I do get Carl's point, but
This
it
an
is
interesting
still
point that you
difficult
raised.
to
It's the same
to
old
get a
point you
shark
raised.
and freeze
Not
it.
anyone could have done it. That's always the same point you make. Anyone could have done it.
Carl,
But they didn't do it.
You could say the same about Michelangelo. Is he an artist or a painter and decorator?
Well, it hasn't caught on, has it? Like the crying boy photograph. No one's having them in their house. No one's gone, "Oh, have you seen this? Have you seen the new trend, a shark in a tank?" No one's got the room. No one wants it. And that, to me, shows you what's popular. At the end of the day, if everyone wants one, he's got to be good, hasn't it?
But I
I
think
mean, if I had a house the size,
more
I
sophisticated
would
things,
consider it.
Then they would.
The shark.
And I just think that's true in all walks of life. You know, it's an acquired taste, and the best things are an acquired taste.
I mean, I haven't got pictures in our flat because of that mirrored wall I've got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, it's tiny. You've been in it. Got windows on one wall, door to get in on the other, kitchen on the other, mirrored wall on the other.
And that's it.
So there's
No
nowhere
space for
there.
art.
There's no space for art.
I'm intrigued how you sit at home. Where's the sofa?
At home,
Yeah.
facing the mirror.
So you sit looking at yourself all night,
Yeah.
as opposed to a painting.
Yeah, but at least that changes each day.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
It
No,
does.
it's not. It's round and miserable every fucking day.
No, honestly, it's good to because you
If he
don't look
changes
at
the
yourself
t-shirt every
otherwise,
day, it's a
especially
new
me,
piece
I
of
haven't got
art.
any hair to comb or anything, so I don't look in the mirror as much as the normal person. So, whereas now, I'm looking there every day.
So you're sat at home staring at yourself?
No, because the telly's in front of the mirror.
But are you not distracted by yourself?
Yeah, you do. When the adverts are on, you look up, and if Suzanne's sat next to me, I tend to talk to her
In the mirror.
through the mirror.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not? Why not?
What do you mean? So why don't you look at her when you talk to her?
Well, you don't have to turn your neck or anything. There's no neck usage going on. I can just look forward. I look at the telly, lift the eyes up, look in the mirror, look at me, look at her.
What does she do?
No,
Look back at you
we're
in the
used
mirror.
to it. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like there's more people in the room in a way. It's like,
And they're further away.
there's nothing odd about that. Why wouldn't you use? It doesn't matter. Your
Sorry,
eyes, remember, your
why
eyes
wouldn't
are
you
still...
talk to your girlfriend via a mirror all the time? Is that your question?
Well, no, I think it's quite normal. If your head is facing a mirror where you can see everything in that room, remember, it's a small flat, I can see everything that's going on in there without moving my head. Stephen Hawking would be well happy. So I can look forward, she's sat next to me. If I'm watching the telly, I can say something. Now, she's getting the sound from me still because she's sat close.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're
And she
further
doesn't
away,
have to
but
turn her
things look
head
better
to
from a
see the
distance anyway.
face.
So that's how you managed to keep this relationship alive?
Maybe.
You're such an odd little man.
But no, it's not odd. You see, there was a woman on the estate who did use... have I told you about Miss Peggy before?
No.
No.
It rings a bell. Go on.
I think I told you ages ago, it's this fat woman who used to be on the estate.
Oh,
She had
right.
a three-wheeler bike. And her
Push
husband's-
bike, pedal bike.
Yeah. I
Oh,
had a tricycle
God.
thing, but a big one.
Right.
She used to sit her husband in the basket in the back. Cycle about, what have you.
Yeah.
She was known as Miss Piggy. Anyway,
Oh, is this the one that she used to beat him up so your dad pretended to be a policeman?
yeah, that's it. Anyway, well, the way she used to communicate, she used to always go in quick save and nick biscuits. And if anyone went up to her to say, stop nicking the biscuits, she'd pull out like a little mirror out of a bag and she'd look in it, but talk to you via the mirror.
Okay, sure.
Oh, man.
Interesting
What?
tactic.
She's insane.
It's weird, isn't it? It's
It was
like-
really weird.
Like
It used to
Narnia.
scare me.
It's like a Salvador Dali painting. you exist in there.
I mean, it's an interesting tactic
really
to get away with stealing,
She thought people looked at the
confusion.
mirror because she was mental.
I couldn't sit, watch the telly, and look at me watching the telly in the mirror all night.
No.
That's
No.
weird.
That'd be really weird.
It's really weird, Carl.
I mean, I do understand
I'm
Carl's
very
point.
conscious of
I mean,
myself.
like,
No,
Conscious
I
of the
think
way
it gives you,
I'm
it
saying.
if
gives
you can get
confidence
past
in that, and
you
if
having
are,
to
you're
constantly look at
confident.
yourself,
Well, yeah, because you're seeing yourself
It's
more and
fine.
you pick up what
I don't
habits
see
you
the
do
problem.
and stuff like that.
So what have you changed through your viewing of yourself?
I sort of grew a beard the other week.
Did
Just
you?
Something different to look at for a bit.
I can't
And then you
imagine
get
Carl
sick
with
of
a
that. It's like a
beard.
piece of art. Change that. Have a bit of a shave.
Can you see the back of the telly in the mirror?
A little bit, yeah. If the flat's a mess, it's a mess twice.
I make you right, Carl. I make you right. Oh dear, guys. Oh dear.
Sculptures. What do you think of sculptures? I mean, because that's something that really is getting into the 3D world there, isn't it? No longer do you have to represent something
The 3D
as 3D.
world.
You can make something. You know, is it, you know, the statues are amazing, aren't they?
They're clever, aren't they? I mean, they always look the same.
Well, that's not true, is it? Because recently there was quite a controversial one, a huge one in London, the pregnant thalidomide woman. What do you think of that?
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Thoughts?
I wouldn't have it in my house.
To be fair, neither would I. Neither would I. Neither would
That
I.
wouldn't be rude because it would just be you, Suzanne, and a pregnant thalidomide watching telly.
I don't know what he was trying to say. It's
Maybe she was saying, okay, we've had the human form. This is an example of the human form.
yeah, but do you think she started off trying to do normal, and it was like, oh, I've chipped a bit off?
I'm sure a lot of great art has been made
One of
by a
the artists
mistake.
got
I'm
chipped
Well,
off.
sure.
it makes you wonder, doesn't
I'm
it?
sure it does. It does.
And why? You see that square, Trafalgar Square. You've got that. Nelson's column. He's got one arm and a leg missing or something, and a patch over his eye. Then you've got the thalidomide. Why can't they just do a full person?
I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
That was what they saw. That was what the artist saw.
It's about confronting us with certain preconceptions of what we expect of the human form, what we expect of sculpture. It's probably a little ironic comment as well on the famous Rodin. It's wrapped up with all kinds of ideas of maternity, of the human form, of what sculpture is. Why wouldn't you put that in a big public place?
But what about the subject? Did you think who's that subject? Who is that woman?
No, not really, because thalidomides are around, and we've all seen one. It's not like a shocking image.
No.
It's one of life's little things that it chucks out. There's some out there.
Yeah.
So it's not
Amazing.
shocking, is it? I don't understand what you mean. I think what I thought is, it just goes to show we're sort of running out of ideas.
What do you think of people who are so angry at art they try and censor it or they try and destroy it? Do you think art should ever be censored?
It's where you put it. If it's in a gallery, then it doesn't have to be censored. If it's in Trafalgar Square, where everyone's wandering around having a nice time, you don't want a 12-foot cock.
I make him right. I make him right. I make
So
him
it's all
very
about where you
right.
put it. I think some art looks better because of where it is. Angel in the North, that's a bit of art, but it's a bit of a surprise, isn't it? You're driving along a miserable motorway.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that over there? Gives you something for your eyes to look at again.
Yeah.
Motorways are the most boring place to drive. But you go, look, there's a bit of art over there.
Yeah, but
Stick that
then
Angel
again,
in
should
the
you be
North.
looking at art when you're
When you're driving.
along a motorway?
Well, yeah, because it's really big. You can keep your eye on it, and
Look in the mirror.
It's not a problem
Wait till you go past it and look in the mirror like normal.
So you like the Angel of the North?
because it's
Yeah.
something in the middle of nothing.
Yeah,
Right,
I
if you put it
get that
somewhere
right.
else.
Stick it in Trafalgar Square, you'd go, oh, more clutter.
And why is it so big? I do get Cole's point, and I've seen The Angel in the North many a
I
time.
remember
It's very good.
we were
It's very
showing
good.
the cartoon version of Animal Farm when we were about like 15, 16. We were discussing it afterwards about, Napoleon, oh yeah, great, oh yeah, communism versus, the poor proletariat and all this. And this bloke went, you lot make me sick. It was just a nice film about some animals. Brilliant.
Yeah. What's your take on that, Carl?
I'm
No,
saying-
go on. What's your point? Because you can see the irony there, can't you?
I haven't seen it.
No.
If you want to do a serious point, don't use animals.
No? Well, I disagree with there because I think my favourite is probably Charles Dickens, and I think the greatest story ever told is A Christmas Carol, and there's only one way that could ever be improved, and that is a Muppet Christmas
That's
Carol.
absolutely right, yeah.
So, and I think that you could, and I think people could take a lesson from that and maybe do other films with the Muppets. A Muppet Schindler's List.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, you could make it so moving, couldn't you?
Schindler's List in space.
Miss Piggy's Choice. Well, we talked about that.
What?
About things like that in art as well. Do you think that bringing something so serious to the masses, like films do, things like the Holocaust and like Sophie's Choice, where she has to choose which child lives and dies.
Why did she have to pick?
Well, because the Nazis were horrible, nasty, evil people.
And which one did she pick?
I don't think that's the point. I don't think that's the point.
I love the idea that
this is not a betting game.
No, but I imagine this is like Deal No Deal.
No,
It's kind of,
no, it's nothing like Deal or No Deal.
Which one are you going to go for?
No, that was so
Why did you
controversial.
ask which one did she choose? Because even if he'd said the names, Robert and Alison, what difference would it make? You don't know the story. Why is
No,
it
because
that
then
you've
I'd ask more. I'd ask more then. If you said Alison, I'd go, what was it with Alison? What did she have over Robert? That's what films are meant to do. You question it. Whenever I watch a film with Suzanne, I always say at the end, what was going on there?
because you're an idiot. That's because you've just watched Muppet Christmas Carol and you can't
We all
understand
do, though.
why
We all
a
get
frog's able
confused
to
by
talk.
films,
I'm
but
all for films with a good storyline.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That's a perfect point. One extraordinary point.
He's gonna follow this up, mate. He's gonna follow
He's got
this up.
something there. He's got
Come
something
on,
here.
Carl. Go on then. What's your
No.
take on films?
Films are really good. You can get lost in them.
yeah.
Right.
And
You like one with a good story?
I mean, whenever anyone asks, it's always the same. It's Elephant Man. It's Kez. Mission Impossible 2.
Mission Impossible 2. These are what you consider the great work.
Good film. Good
These are
film.
the ones that I've enjoyed recently. There's so many films that I haven't seen, yet you always say, "Oh, have you seen so and so?"
What, Mission Impossible 1?
There's good news for you. 3's out.
That's true.
I'll tell you guys my favourite film. Superbad.
One of the most striking art
Let me know if
exhibitions
you've
that I
watched
ever
that.
attended, Carl, was an exhibition of outsider art. Something I'm sure you're very familiar with. Outsider art, of course, is work that is made by people who are often institutionalized for mental health problems, or they are just incredibly, the people who aren't in any way part of the art establishment.
Well, right up to psychopathic murderers, clinically insane mass murderers would count as outsider art. I went to an outsider art exhibition in New York. It was incredible, and I bought a painting of this guy. He's a chronic schizophrenic, and he paints in tar, like road tar, that he gets from roads, and he paints in that on wood he finds in sort of skips. And it's incredible because it's sort of like scratched in, and it's amazing. And there's this thing of Jesus being helped down off the cross. Admittedly, I was walking around there going, "This is fucking mental," and James was going, "You've got to stop saying that," because of course some of the people
Of
are
course, yeah.
mental.
It's not the right
And
word
there
to
was one
use.
that's done a sculpture of a skull, right? And underneath, it was like a little head with his teeth. Underneath, he'd put a sign that said "real teeth." Where did he get the real teeth from?
I've seen it all.
I think
I've seen it all.
that is how much therapy it provides for these often mentally unstable people, which is another important value of art, of course. People's self-expression, people being able to give a little piece of themselves through their work. Do you not see any value in that? How do you express yourself?
Whistle.
I mean, whistling could be seen as a form of art, I guess.
I found over Christmas, I whistled a lot more than I usually do, and I think that was just freedom.
You're in the
freedom?
you're in the Christmas spirit.
So
You're
please
happy. You're
expand on
just
this point,
whistling
if you would.
about.
Well, that's what art is, isn't it? It's you being free of all the world's heaviness on your
See,
shoulders.
that's a great quote. That's great. That for art is freedom. I love that because I think you've really hit on something there.
Would you include the free of all the world's heaviness?
Well, I
element of the
know
quote
what
as
you
well,
meant.
or
I know
would
what you meant there.
Would you
I
include
mean-
that one in it?
I mean, I would include the world's heaviness in my freedom. You know, some artists are attracted to the dark side, the heaviness of the world.
But I just want to return to you whistling as your
Yeah.
artistic expression of freedom. I mean, why did you find yourself whistling more?
That's what was weird.
So just
few
take us
days off.
through a typical day. When would the whistling begin?
So this was that you spent Christmas down in Kent with Suzanne and her parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could I suggest something? Your freedom was thinking, I'm in my own place now. I'm going to annoy them.
Well, it was mainly it's when we were going to Scrabble, and they were taking ages to have their go,
Yeah.
and couldn't have the radio on because the boiler affects the radio.
Right.
It sort
you
of
got boiler
interferes with it.
problems down in Kent as
It,
well.
it works. It just gives something off every time it kicks in. The radio goes all staticky.
Right.
So I just was sort of supplying the soundtrack.
just providing the
What kind of things did you do with
entertainment.
whistling?
It was like I just sort of did a whistle medley. It was going from one thing to another,
A Wedley.
and a man was impressed. She was like, "Oh, you can whistle, can't you?" I was going, yeah. And then she was saying, "How loud can you go?" I was just doing all different levels.
Sorry, this sounds like a scene from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The boiler's setting off the radio. I can whistle. Talk about outsider art.
I love the fact that Carl's life is like living in a home
It
when
is.
you're in your 80s.
Yeah.
But you felt that this was your way of expressing yourself.
I just found it odd because I don't whistle that much. I think just because I think I'm fed up most of the time when I'm in London, and you don't whistle when you're fed up.
No.
Whistling's a happy thing. You never get an angry man suddenly breaking into a
Well,
whistle.
the people who aren't whistling are usually pissed off. But yeah, the bloke who's whistling, it's like, it's the least. He's the least annoyed person in the room when someone's whistling. Same as holding a drill. The only person that noise doesn't annoy is the bloke who's drilling.
Yeah,
Everyone else
I'll make you
wants
right.
to punch his face in. Same
I'll
with
make you
whistling.
right.
Whistling,
Goes to show
there's no point in whistling.
No, there is.
No, there's not.
Don't know. I mean, our window cleaner was known as like, you know, that's how you knew he was there. He always whistled. And in the end, he fell off his ladder, broke his front teeth, retired.
Never whistled again. Never whistled
Because he couldn't
again.
whistle.
That was it. It was like,
Well, yeah, he
can't
whistles
whistle,
all the time.
can't whistle,
Well, yeah.
can't clean windows. It's a bit tragic.
Can you take
Yeah.
along a whistle? Just pop that in his mouth.
Yeah, I suppose he could have done. Didn't think of that.
What about a flute? Or a recorder? Not London's burning again. Fucking clean the windows, man. Fuck off.
He didn't really think this through, did he? He retired at the age of 28. And his whole family were bankrupt.
With no teeth.
Yeah.
And just a
Why
bucket and a
aren't you
squeegee.
working, Dad? Because I can't whistle.
I can't whistle anymore.
It's all gone downhill. It's all gone downhill.
Window cleaning.
So you never whistle?
No.
I can't really whistle very well. No.
I don't whistle, but I can whistle better than that.
That's good.
What, you did this for hours on end while playing Scrabble?
About 2 hours.
2 hours?
Put my word down.
And
then,
this, sorry,
Takes a
can you
lot
do
of
that again?
commitment,
Just
that does.
real-
A lot of commitment.
So you
But
were,
that
whistling,
is-
you were whistling after you had your go as
oh,
well?
yeah.
Fucking hell, Carl.
But hang on, let's just hear a bit. That is Carl's self-expression. That is his artistic self-expression right there.
Nothing wrong with it.
No tune, no nothing.
That's fine. If it makes him happy, that's all that matters.
There's mental patients who have smeared canvases with shit who have expressed more than you have in that.
Yeah, but it's not about other people. I'm not there to please other people.
You tell him, Carl.
You're there to
You
annoy
tell
him.
him, Carl.
What was the
You
best
tell him.
word you came up with in Scrabble?
Don't knock me at Scrabble, because I do all right. What's weird is, when I play Scrabble, my brain can come up with words that I don't normally say.
Okay, this isn't... No, I'm intrigued here. Your brain can come up
Is
with
this the
words you
whole
wouldn't normally
brain
say.
and body
Just
separation
words
again?
that I'd never drop into a sentence.
Tree, cat.
Go on.
Squirm. That's using a Q. It's worth 10, that.
Isn't it
It's not
just?
bad, is it? No, I'd never say that.
I've never heard you, I don't think I've ever heard you say squirm, no. I don't think you're right, Carl. I've never heard you say squirm.
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it is weird.
And yet your brain popped that one out.
And then, yeah, when it wasn't my go, just...
See, this could also be used as a distraction
Anyway,
tactic
so
in the
that's
game.
sort of doing
You
art
never
for
know.
yourself as opposed for other people.
I don't
Yeah.
think you can count what you just did then as art.
Why not? Why
Hobby,
not?
maybe, craft, pastime.
Why
I
not?
don't think you can count that as art.
I mean,
I'm not
anything.
being funny.
Anything can be art in
I'm being a bit
theory.
snobby here, but I think there's a difference between Beethoven and squirm. There's a Q in that.
Oh, and that's it, guys. Right. So, what are we going to take from this episode? So, this whole last segment was really about Carl whistling and how Carl expresses himself. Like, I mean, to some extent, as long as you're making yourself happy, which Carl does, and if he thinks he's expressing himself, there's nothing wrong with it. He can whistle as much as he wants. But I do agree with the bit where it's about, like, the drilling, like, if there's people drilling, it does annoy everyone else except them. But, you know, you've just got to let people be up to a point. If someone's got, like, a full-on dang old jackhammer outside my house, I'd go down and say something. But, you know, if as long as it's making Carl happy, there's nothing wrong with a bit of whistling. That thing they were talking about outsider art, that's very interesting. Like, I would definitely want to go to one of those galleries someday and see some of that stuff, because like a skull with real teeth, with the sign real teeth, I mean, yeah, so that's says it all, really, doesn't it? It says it all. And then, yeah, a lot of this episode was pretty much all about art. Carl's mirror. So I do get what Ricky and Steve mean in the way that you're looking yourself in the mirror all the time. It might make you self-conscious. You're always looking at it. But for Carl, I don't think he's the sort of person who is self-conscious at all. I think he just sits down, watches the TV, and doesn't even care about the mirror in the background. And he literally just uses it as an easier way to talk to Suzanne. Like, that's the thing with Carl. Things make him happy, and things don't bother him the way it does with other people. So there's a lot of stuff Carl does, but as long as he's happy, that's all that matters. So that's pretty much all I got to say about this one, guys. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later for another video. Peace.